with Ivy Sepe, and we now have our Diamond Director Camille Gliane this evening. But before that, let me know naman sino dito yung mga bago pa lang po sa isa na yung less than 6 months. Please type 6 sa ating chat box. Alright, ayan. So medyo welcome po sa iyo sana, and I hope that you are still there, di ba? And talagang lumalaban, di ba, sa ating business. And this night, probably you can get some more insights, di ba, dun sa ating mga speakers that will be talking tonight, okay? So before that, let me just say a few of our reminders. Okay, so I'm very excited kasi this is a good news, no, that pwede nyo na pong i-update ang inyong credit card details sa Hub. So if before you need to call or you need to email our customer service, well, you can now do it yourself. Okay, so this is one way to have a hassle-free cut-off. Okay, you can now update and manage your credit card details on the Hub, and make sure that your credit card details is up to date para mas madali kayo magbayad sa ating whenever is it AO or personal order, di ba? Kahit ano. So, mas maganda kung meron kayong credit card on file, and we are 100% sure na safe po ito. Okay? So, hindi our system is very secure. So, you can now update and manage your credit card details on the Hub. Okay? Now, next, another reminder, di ba, from our office is that if you would want to have your names corrected, your email address updated, and your shipping addresses, diba, updated as well as your mobile number, you can very much do it yourself. Diba? Alam mo ba yon? So, pwede mong puntahan ang www.usana.com/hub. Just go to the My Account and manage your profile. Actually, for those of you na hindi masyado pang adept or hindi pa masyadong familiar sa Hub, pwedeng-pwede nyo siyang gawin on your own. Diba? So, kung mapapansin nyo, ma'am, iba po yung gusto kong pangalan, di ba, na ma-recognize ako as Gold Director. Iba po yung province ko, hindi naman po ako taga Quezon Province, taga Quezon City po ako. So, pwede mo siyang i-update, okay, sa Hub. Actually, kung ano naman kasi yung nilagay mo, when you enroll, yun naman talaga yung makaka-capture ng system natin. And right now, you have the power to update it para, syempre, mas smooth yung communication, lalo na dahil we are online. 'Di ba? So hindi na maliligaw yung inyong packages, or hindi na mali, 'di ba, yung inyong email addresses. Makakatanggap kayo ng communication from us. So that's as easy as 1 2 3. So just go to the Hub, My Account, and manage your profile, okay? So now we also have an announcement on November 2. Diba? Araw na po ng mga patay, office is closed. Okay? So lahat po ng office natin from Makati, Cebu, and Davao will be closed. So ibig pong sabihin, hindi lang po pwede ang over-the-counter transaction, wala pong pick-up on this day, and wala rin po tayong customer service hotline. But, diba, sabi ko nga, dahil online ang ating business, you can very much go to the Hub and transact. Diba? So on November 2, so that's All Souls Day, and that is a holiday na pumatak ng Monday, okay? So, just please be guided, di ba, na wala yung mga customer service natin at that time. Pero you can very much do your auto-order, manage your orders, di ba, and enroll online. Okay, pwede po yan. Hindi po holiday ang online natin, okay? And ano ba ang mangyayari sa November 14? So, sabi ko nga last Tuesday, di ba, ito yung pinaka-awaited na day natin dito sa Usana. And wag mo nang paabutin sa November 14, baka maapektuhan ka dahil sa sobrang dami ng tao nagtatransact, di ba? Kasi we have 3 weeks left to qualify for the BGP. If you all know, di ba, if you have enrolled last June 30 to September 19, your PPPS qualification is extended. And not only that, once you completed your PPPS qualification, you are entitled to a one-time pay settler bonus. Grabe, di ba? So, you can have this as your early Christmas bonus if you hate PPPS pa lang yan, di ba? That's $160 for you if you complete your PPPS qualification on November 14, 1:59 p.m. Okay? So, hindi pa po huli ang lahat. Please take advantage of our BGP And dun sa mga upline nito mga to, you can get 100% or double matching bonus, diba? Dun sa mga ma-enroll nyo nung June 30 to September 19 kung mag-PBPS sila. So please, let's all work this out. Sayang naman, 3 more weeks to go. And not only that, we also have last 3 weeks sa travel incentive. So kung ikaw ay somebody na nakatapos na sa Team Up Step Up, please type Taiwan sa ating chat box. Tignan natin kung sino na yung mga nakatapos ng Taiwan. Okay, wala po nakatapos. Delayed lang po yung internet ko. Yan, si Melbert, ayan. So, si Melbert lang, and si Isabelita, diba? So, kung ikaw ay hindi pa tapos, diba, ngayon pa lang, tapusin mo na yung qualification mo para in the next 2 weeks, yung downline mo naman ang tutulungan mo. Kaya nga tayo team up, diba? Kaya nga tayo teamwork. So, we have 3 more weeks sa ating Taiwan and wala na po siyang reconsideration. Okay, so kung may nakamiss ka ng auto-order, sorry na lang. Kung may 1 point, di ba, kahit na 1 SBP ang kulang mo, sorry na lang kasi we have the last na, di ba, pangatlong period na po ito and 13 weeks pa yung last period. So please, maaga pa lang po dapat siguraduhin na natin. Huwag tayong mga photo finish. So I'm sure you can all do it. And lahat tayo ay makakapunta sa Taiwan next year if pwede na po mag-travel. So, tuloy na tuloy po ito. Hindi po ito canceled. And we will just update you of the travel dates once we have confirmed it for next year. So, okay, so very exciting, no? Now, let's have our leadership summit that will be ending on November 27. Okay, so this will be in Tokyo, Japan. And for those of you, pwede pa pong humabol. So, we still have last 5 weeks to go. Ayan, we are on our last 5 weeks. And, eto yung, hindi rin po ito maka-cancel. Okay, wag po kayo masyadong kabado. Hindi tayo nagka-cancel. We're just waiting for us when we can travel again. Okay, so this will be in Tokyo, Japan next year. Okay, so very exciting. Ang daming travel incentive dito sa USANA. And, again, eto din po ang ating UMB or Upward Momentum Bonus. Kita-kita niyo po ang aking background. Talagang, nasa, na tayo, last 3 weeks, okay, for our Upward Momentum Bonus. And hindi kami magsasawa kasi ang dami na pong may potential, diba, na makahit ng UMB. So, all you need to do is, of course, to take note of the deadline. It's up until November 14, 1:59 p.m. And you can earn a one-time CBP bonus just by rank advancement to Builder, Achiever, Director. And after that, all you need to do is to complete the CBP requirement needed. So, kapag ka-builder ka, all you need to do is additional 500 CBP to get your $300 US. If you're an achiever, rank advance to achiever and then achieve another 1,000 additional CBP after. So that's $500 US for you. And kung nag-director ka, di ba, you have the potential to earn $700 US if you created 1,500 additional CBP bonus. And why not, di ba? Kuhain mo lahat yan, all 1,500 CBP bonus if you have rank advance to director at magkaroon ka lang ng additional, di ba, na CBP requirement. So, napakadali po and please make sure that you qualify, di ba, and complete your qualification before mag-November 14, 1:59 p.m. Sabi ko nga, di ba, maraming crunch time dyan. So, kung ayaw mo mapurnada yung iyong bonus, ngayon pa lang aga-agahan na natin, let's all complete our additional CBP bonus. Okay? So, that's it for our announcement. And now, I'm very honored, di ba, to share to you kung sino yung ating speaker this evening. Actually, matagal-tagal na natin siyang hindi naririnig, but she's very much, di ba, alive here at USANA. Talaga naman kita natin na nag-grow yung grupo niya and sila. So, let me just introduce her, okay? She is an electronics and communications engineer in DLSU Manila, a lecturer at the College of Engineering, same school, di ba? She's also a national reviewer, engineering board examination, a project management at an IT company, and a business analyst in an Australian bank. But ang pinaka-importante dito, she has started the business at 22. Sino dito yung mga nasa 20s nila? Type 20. Okay. And became one of the youngest diamond director at 26. Wow, ang daming mga nasa 20s, no? Okay. So, hindi pa huli ang lahat. Please welcome, listen to our speaker for tonight, Camille Gliane. Good evening, Camille.
Hi, Ma'am Joyce. Thank you po for that introduction.
Take it away.
Ayan, good evening everyone. So thank you po USANA Philippines for having me tonight. And sa ating lahat na nandito ngayon, thank you for attending. So our topic for tonight is personal leadership traits. Okay, so before we proceed, share ko lang yung slide ko. Let me introduce myself. Okay, so I started the business, tama si Ma'am Joyce, I started the business at 22 years old. Okay, di ba? Murang-murang edad, di ba? So yan po yung itsura ko when I joined. At kung makikita mo naman, hindi mo maiisip mag-diamond yan, di ba? So yung itsura pa lang, parang walang network, parang walang self-esteem, parang walang confidence, di ba? And hindi mo talaga alam paano nagkaroon ng 40,000 na pang start yan, di ba? So I started the business as a fresh grad. And then, ito lang yung ginagawa ko araw-araw sa buhay ko. So, ang ginagawa ko lang araw-araw sa buhay ko before I was invited in USANA was nag-work ako, nag-OT, nagla-love life, tsaka nagbabanda. So, dyan lang nagre-revolve yung buhay ko. Paulit-ulit lang. And happy ako doon. Di ba? Happy-happy. So, sino dito nung nag-start ka ng USANA, lalo na sa mga bago dito sa call na to, sino dito nung nag-start ka sa USANA, medyo nagulo yung schedule mo? Meron ba? Meron ba? Kasi meron ka ng rhythm before meron ka ng routine. And then when you started this side hustle, biglang kailangan mo mag-training ng alas 6 ng gabi. Biglang may presentation ka ng 7 p.m. Biglang may ma'am pa kayo sa gabi. Biglang may skills training ng weekend, may recognition, may huddle ng Sunday. So parang nagulo ka na. 'Di ba? Meron ba dito? Meron ba dito? So that is exactly how I felt when I started the business. So talagang I was very confused. Gulong-gulo ako. I wasn't really doing well na hindi na ako nakaka-attend sa practice ng banda. Yung relationship ko, hindi na rin maganda kasi wala na akong time. Hindi na ako nakapag-jowa, okay? And then yung work ko, napapagalitan na rin ako sa work. Kasi singit ako ng singit ng kung ano-ano ba nag-work. And then, yung USANA ko, hindi pa nagpo-flourish. O, di ba? Buti sana kung nagulo yung schedule ko, tapos winner ako sa isang area. Ang nangyari, lahat ng area, hindi ako magaling. Di ba? May nakaka-relate ba? Di ba? So, kung ikaw yan ngayon, okay lang yan. Di ba? Okay lang yan. Bakit? Kasi yung fact na nagugulo yung schedule mo, it means you're trying something new. Ibig sabihin, may tinatry ka na out of normal. And kung may gusto kang magbago sa future mo, normal lang yon. Tama lang na kung gusto magbago yung future mo, dapat may bago kang ginagawa every single day. Di ba? Insanity naman yon. To hope for a better future when doing the same things over and over again. Di ba? So yan yung pinagdaanan ko. And guess what? When I was starting, people will think na pag bago ka dito, you're struggling. Tama ba? Kasi nga, hindi ka na magaling sa lahat di ba? Hindi ka magaling sa lahat, aaway ka pa ng asawa mo, di ba? Pero hindi ka talaga nagsustruggle It's just that naninibago ka. And with time, as you do the business, you will start to get your rhythm again. So give it time, di ba? So ako na nag-start ako, sabi ko, ang hirap naman ito, bakit nung professor naman ako, magaling naman ako bakit pagdating dito yung PPS ko, deadline ko na hit, di ba? Bakit ang hirap? Pero hindi siya mahirap. It's just that you're introducing something new so that you will get something new in the future. So okay lang yan, okay? So this was me when I started. I took up Electronics and Communications Engineering from De La Salle University, Manila. I used to teach as a university professor. So, first year subjects, general sciences, higher math, tinuro ko yan. Second year, third year, fourth year, pati terminal, tinuro ko yan, di ba? So, tinuro ko rin yung switching devices, logic circuits, telco, pati programming, di ba? Tinuro natin yung calculus, di ba? And I was also a national reviewer for an engineering board examination. I was part of the project management team of an IT company. So, sino dito night shift ka? Diba sa mga IT dito, naintindihan kita, simula nung nag-work from home, mas tumaas yung load, diba? Mas naging busy tayo nung work from home, no? And nag-work din ako in an Australian bank. Ito sobrang prestigious, sobrang taas ng tingin sa'yo ng mga tao when you're working in a bank. Diba, naka-trench coat ka pa? Bossing namin si si Mentor Mara Pasco, diba? So, and katulad na nakararami, nag-aral din po ako mabuti. 'Di ba? So kung typical Filipino story ka, anong sasabihin sa'yo ng magulang mo? 'Di ba? Study hard, get good grades so that someday you will be hired by a big multinational corporation that will take care of you for the rest of your life. Ngayon, may tanong ako. Nagkatotoo po ba yan? O, di ba? Di ba? So, nag-aral po ako mabuti. I was first honors dean's lister sa school. Pero nung nag-apply ako ng trabaho, ang sahod ko po ay 12,000. Okay, 12,000 pesos. Licensed engineer. O, di ba? Nakakaloka. At yung classmate ko na bulakbol, hindi nag-aaral, nagka-cutting, parehas lang po kami ng sahod. O, di ba? Sila nakaka-relate. Nakaka-relate ba kayo? So, ibig sabihin ba niyan, hindi ka na mag-aaral? Okay? Mali, hindi. Mag-aaral kang mabuti, not for the salary, but because excellence is one of your values. So, mag-aaral ka pa rin, okay? And sa mga nandito, siguro yung iniisip nyo, naku, kaya naman sila nagtagumpay dyan kasi makapal talaga ang mukha niyong babaeng yan. O, di ba? Sabi siguro nung iba, naku, kaya naman siguro yung kumita ng malaki kasi mabuo ka. Di ba? Madaldal. Yung iba naman, ako, mahihayin kasi ako, hindi ako pwede dyan. Or siguro iniisip nung iba, kaya siya nag-diamond kasi yung cute-cute niya. O, di ba? Taas ng charisma niya. Siguro kaya sila nagtagumpay. Well, guess what? I didn't start that way. So, ito yung photo namin ng family ko na bata ako. Favorite photo ko to kasi ito yung happiest day ng buhay ko. O, diba? So, tignan nyo naman yung pagmumukha ko. Yan na po ang todo. Okay, todong happiness. Diba? Galit sa mundo. May Snoopy ka pa na jacket. O, diba? And this was in Australia. So, imagine, you're out of the country with your family, bata ka pa. Siyempre, pag bata ka, yung senses mo, lahat natutuwa ka, pag bago. And I was so happy. Diba, hindi naman kami lagi nakaka-travel, hindi naman kami mayaman. So, ito, big deal sa akin to, na nakapag-Australia kami ng family ko. And tignan nyo naman yung pagmumukha ko. Todo na yan, girl. Todo na yan, diba? So, all of my friends, when I invited them to USANA, all they were saying was that, of all people, you're the last person I've ever thought who will become diamond in that industry. And I agree. Kahit magulang ko, kahit nanay ko, siya na mismo nagsabi, naku anak, baka yung mga kapatid mo pwede mag-diamond, pero ikaw hindi. Masungit ka eh. Wala kang pasensya. Wala kang kaibigan. So, taas kamay ng mga walang kaibigan. Woohoo! Diba? So, kaya nga kami nag-engineering eh. Kasi ayaw namin ng liberal arts. Ayaw namin ng communication skills. Gusto namin basta mag-shade-shade ka lang ng math exam sa bilog. Hindi mo kailangan makipag-usap, diba? And so, all of these were developed. So, ito, lahat ng nakikita mo today, we didn't start this way. But all we had was the humility na gusto ko magbago buhay ko. It's kind of stupid to stick to the path that I started kung hindi naman ako dadalhin sa future na gusto ko. So kung nandito ka ngayon, introverted ka, wala ka masyadong friends, welcome to the club. Alam niyo ba yung bahay sa harapan namin, hanggang ngayon di ko pa friend. Grabe, di ba? So wala talaga akong friends. Di ba? Mas maboka pa itong mga kapatid ko. And ito yung itsura ko nung part-time ako. So baka sabihin nyo, nag-part-time ba talaga siya? O nag-part-time ako, 2 years po akong part-time. And then I hit Gold Director. And then in 4 years, I hit Diamond Director. So kung kaya namin, kaya mo din. Okay? And sa mga nakakaalam ng mga IT na trabaho, patayan po yan. 16 hours a night, Sabado, Linggo, pumapasok kami, nagde-deploy kami. Pasko, New Year, may pasok kami. Diba? So kaya naman. Diba? So ngayon, let's go to our topic, okay? This is the season finale. Wow, di ba? Series finale for our personal leadership series. So the other day, Mentor Flores discussed why it is important to develop personal leadership. So let's review for a bit. The definition of personal leadership is the ability to develop and utilize your positive leadership traits to guide the direction of your life. Instead of letting time and chance determine your course. Tama ba? Sabi nga nila, pag wala ka daw plinano, wala kang goal. 1% chance ka lang maging wealthy according sa ANC survey. Diba? 99% sure you will be poor. Diba? And yesterday, Mentor Ivy discussed about leadership skills. Ano ba itong mga leadership skills? Skills are things that can be taught and then you can also forget. So sige nga, i-type nyo nga dito, ano ba ang mga vital skills of a leader? Diba? So example, pag musician, ano ang vital skills ng isang musician? Siyempre, may finger strength tayo, diba? Lalo kung bassist ka. Pag musician ka, kailangan you can read notes, kahit pa paano, or you can hear notes. Ngayon, when it comes to leadership, what are vital leadership skills? Sige nga, type mo dito. So sabi ni Mentor Ivy yesterday, clear communication skills. Malinaw ka daw magpaliwanag. Ano pa? Organize. Dito pwedeng burara. Nakaw! Okay lang yan. Ide-develop natin yan. Okay? Detail-oriented. Okay, yung 56 days, hindi 57, hindi 58, di ba? May attention to detail. Ngayon, kung wala ka ng mga skills na yon, congratulations! You're in the perfect vehicle. Alam mo, the thing I love about you, Sana, is that nade-develop ka as you earn. Kasi sa labas, magtinda ka ng Jansport, magtinda ka ng power bank, magtinda ka ng Nutella, kikita ka naman pero hindi ka nade-develop. So, what I love about you, Sana, is that personal development is baked in the cake of being wealthy. So, i-maximize mo yan, nandito ka na, di ba? So, kung di ka marunong, very good, dito ka matututo. Ngayon, kung nandito ka ngayon, iniisip mo, naku, yung mga leadership, chuchu na yan, hindi ako magaling dyan, hindi ko na kailangan aralin yan, hindi ko strength yan. Kapatid, kahit hindi ka magyusana, the world needs good leaders. Tama ba? If you are a parent right now, that's the greatest form of leadership. Imagine, there's a person on this earth na nilabas mo and you guide them through life habang bata pa sila so that they can make positive impact sa society. So you are already a leader. And kahit di ka magyusana in the workplace, kailangan talaga may leadership skills ka para makaangat ka. And ang ganda dito, natututo ka pa for free, di ba? And so today, we will proceed with leadership traits, di ba? Ano ba ang leadership traits? These are abilities. Ito na yung hindi na ito yung mga clear communication skills. Ang tawag na dito yung pagkatao mo na. Okay, ano bang pagkatao ng leadership traits? Diba? Skills are the things that you can learn. Traits are discovering and developing who you are. Okay? So sabi nila, great leadership begins with self-leadership. Sabi nga nila, if you want to measure a man, bantayan mo kung kaya niyang piliin yung pagkain niya. Because hunger is the greatest test of self-leadership. Okay? So sabi, ito, describe na to kanina. Uulitin ko lang po, i-define natin ulit. Leadership, di ko mabasa, teka. Di mo kita screen. Okay. Leadership describes how you lead your own life, setting your own course. Tama ba? By the fact that you decide to join Yusana. Tama ba? Nung nag-decide ka to join Yusana, you already set a new course. Diba? Wala naman to sa path mo dati. Nag-chart ka ng new territory. Okay, very good ka na doon. Next, self-leadership describes how you lead your own life, setting your course, following through it. So, hindi enough na nag-start ka ngayon. Kailangan panindigan mo yan. So, huwag kang papayag na sa umpisa ka lang magaling. You have to follow through with your decision. And last but most importantly, after you set your course, you follow through, you have to allow space for course correction. Kasi most people, when they start something, gusto nila smooth sailing, you get it right the first time. But guess what, kapatid? You will rarely get it right the first time. Diba? Lahat naman, kahit nga yung pari, bago maging pari, dumadaan muna siya sa deacon. Lahat naman dumadaan muna sila sa middle ground. So ngayon, kung nagkakamali ka, kung quote-unquote, nag-fail ka, kung hindi mo na-hit yung goals mo, that is exactly what self-leadership means. The ability to course correct. Okay? And sabi nila, people want to lead others. But why not start by leading yourself? Ito, favorite ko to. Everyone wants to change the world. Agree? Everyone wants to change the world, but no one wants to change themselves. Kasi masakit yun Mahirap tanggapin na you are wrong. Mahirap tanggapin na you thought wrong, di ba? Mahirap tanggapin na inuukit ka pinaprocess ka ng mentor mo But ako, I really believe self-leadership is all about self-development. Narinig niyo na ba yung word na personal development? People say they love personal development because they read books, they attend seminars, but guess what? That's not what personal development is. Kasi yung nagbabasa ka, nalalaman mo lang. But personal development is having the humility na tanggapin mo na mali ka at baguhin mo siya. Self-development is not reading books, it's about being transformed by the book. Okay? And sabi din dito, ito, favorite ko itong si Peter Drucker, okay? There are only 3 things that happen naturally in a team. Okay? Not natural to, walang effort. Nag-aaway, confusion, and underperformance. Okay? Everything else requires leadership. Okay? So, ang ibig sabihin, you have to be very intentional. Pag hindi ka nag-exercise ng leadership, hindi mo kailangan i-goal set may mag-away. Hindi mo kailangan i-game plan malito at mag-underperform yung mga tao. Kailangan lang talaga, wag ka mag-lead, di ba? So, everything else requires leadership. So, ngayon, what is a great leader? So, ngayon, define natin, what makes a leader great? So, some people, they're thinking of a Superman leader. Tama ba? Ito yung mga they save the day, they are perfect, they are glorified, they are strong. But I don't think that's what leader means talaga. Okay? So ano ba talaga ang great leader? So ngayon, let's have an exercise. Think about the best leader you have ever worked with. I want you to visualize right now. Sino yung best leader na nakatrabaho mo na ever? I want you to imagine his face or her face right now. Ngayon, kung may idol ka na mentor, hindi yun counted kasi you've never worked with a person. Kailangan, ang leadership kasi contact sports yan eh. Hindi pwedeng detach kayo. Kailangan ikiskisan talaga kayo. So, sino yung nakatrabaho mo talaga? Okay, think about that person. So, ngayon, wala daw yung iba. Okay, nakakatawa. Ayan, so ano tawag dito? Think about the best leader you've ever worked with. So ako, I'm really grateful to God. Now, nung bago ako, when I was 22 years old, when I was 21 years old, on my first job, yung boss ko was a great leader. So hindi ako nakaka-relate sa mga speaker na sasabihin, sa work, ganito, ganyan, because I had great employment experience. Yung boss ko was a great leader. She was a great mentor. And alam nyo, hindi naman niya ako tinuruan eh. But she modeled it. She walked the talk and I was just observing all of her leadership traits. And when I was invited into USANA, syempre hindi pa rin ako magaling, hindi ako perfect, but at least I have a baseline of what a leader should be. And I believe not everyone has that luxury, kaya dapat umaattend ka ng training, di ba? So ayan, think about the best leader you've ever worked with, o di ba? So ako right now sa level ko si Mentor Caleb, di ba? So sino? Ngayon, as you imagine the best leader you've ever worked with, isipin mo nga, yung tao ba na yan, sinigawan ka? Okay? Yung tao ba na yan, alam mo, inalipusta ka? More or less, hindi. Tama? And that's why when you think about the best leader you've ever worked with, it reminds you of what type of a leader you should not become. Kasi nga, kung ano yung mga hindi niya ginagawa sa'yo, dapat hindi rin natin ginagawa. Kumbaga, although best effort, kasi tao ka lang, di ba? And na-mention ko na ito kanina, that's why it hits close to home. Kailangan karirin mo yung leadership. Kasi nga, the greatest form of leadership is parenting. We've all grown up to bad parents. Di ba? Lalo nasa Pilipinas ka, pinapalo tayo. Di ba? Sino napalo? Ngayon, our parents are humans and they are not perfect but they love us perfectly. And right, dati walang Coursera, dati walang Zoom, dati walang Anthony Robbins. So yung parents natin, they didn't really have the best leadership model. So okay lang yon. Pero ikaw, you have access to leadership trainings. Kailangan lubusin mo na to, friend. Kasi time will come, 10 to 20 years from now, you will be the best leader of your children and they will be your legacy, di ba? So ngayon, ito yung barkada ko. Kilala niyo ba to? Okay, nerd time. Meron ba mga nerd dito? Okay, ito yung barkada ko. Araw-araw ko tong kausap. Okay, kilala niyo ba to? Okay, this guy is Marcus Aurelius. Okay, so he is a great philosopher. And alam niyo yung mga philosopher, di ba? Matatalino, maraming alam, maraming wisdom, di ba? Pero hindi lang siya great philosopher. Si Marcus Aurelius may part-time. Ay! Ay, sino mga may part-time dito? Okay, si Marcus Aurelius may part-time, may side hustle. Ang part-time niya, he is the emperor of the Roman Empire. Pero part-time lang niya yon. Talagang ang full-time niya, philosopher siya. Ngayon, he is one of the last great leaders. And he's being called the beacon of enlightened leadership. Kaya gustong-gusto ko tong tao na to. Ngayon, anong sabi ni Marcus Aurelius? The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. Diba? So, act virtuous, use your time well, be cheerful, then, when you drop from life's tree, you will drop like a ripe fruit. Diba? So, imagine mo ba si Donald Trump sinasabi niya to? Woo! Na-imagine mo ba yung boss mo sa work sinasabi niya to? Hindi. O, diba? So, dapat ang isang leader. So ibig sabihin, anong tinutukoy ni Marcus Aurelius dun sa the quality of your lies in the quality of your thoughts, 'di ba? What he meant with that line is self-leadership. He is the master of self-leadership. Kaya gustong-gusto ko siya. He mastered self-leadership and that's why he became a great Roman leader. So anong sinasabi niya? Leading oneself first. Okay? Leading oneself first before going out to lead others. Inyo sana you have to do it at the same time kasi mabilis po ang pacing dito. Okay? And sabi din ni D. Hawk ng Visa, if you want to lead, invest at least 40% of your time in leading yourself. Kaya nga hindi pwede na wala po akong time, may guest ako, hindi pwede Kasi personal development is your full-time job. Diba? You don't do it to make more money You do it for yourself. Diba? And ngayon, ano ang mga ginagawa ni paring Marcus Aurelius? Number 1, to be a great leader. Self-leadership, wala ka pang malaking team. 1, 2, 3, or sarili mo palang nililid mo. Step 1 is self-awareness. Have you met people who are really good in presenting? They're very eloquent speakers. May mga na-meet ka na ba na they're really good, they're very goal-oriented. But they have zero social cues. Tama ba? They're irritating, some are demanding, some are they just can't read the energy in the room. May kilala ba kayong ganyan? And anong tawag dito? Some are, ba term doon? Some are needy. Diba? And itong mga tao to, hindi naman nila yung sinasadya. And had they become aware, they can always change that. Kasi magaling naman sila Pero sayang. So kaya nga when people make you aware of the things that you need to change, you have to be thankful, diba? Pero totoo ba kahit ako when people tell me the things that I need to be aware, masakit Tama ba? So ayaw mo So ngayon, dahil ayaw natin pagaling sa iba, dapat effortan mo na ikaw yung makakatch. Ikaw yung makapansin. So kaya nyo ba itong ipangako sa akin every day? So today, I don't want you to go out with a bunch of notes in your notebook. Today, I want you to leave the Zoom training a changed person. Wala nang mamaya na application, wala nang babasahin mo pa yung notebook mo. Mag-focus ka ngayon, baguhin mo yung sarili mo right at this moment. Kaya ba natin yan? So step 1, I want you to allocate time in the day for self-awareness. So if someone is irritating you, or if you're being impatient with a goal, I want you to write it down. Because if you don't become aware, you cannot change it. And if you cannot change it, you cannot serve your people. So ang tool natin, okay, meron tayong tool, character traits check. So gusto ko i-check mo yung sarili mo, gradean mo on a daily basis. Friend, if you're not gonna grow, what's the point of living? Diba? Living is about growth. Okay? So ano yung mga i-check mo? What are leadership traits? Traits are the distinguishing personal characteristics of a leader. Ngayon, okay, meron tinatawag na great man approach. Ano to? Ito daw, naalala nyo, minsan merong pinag-uusapan yan are leaders born or made? Born or developed, diba? So naririnig nyo ba yan? And ito, masakit to sa heart, pero usually, especially in the Western culture, when you say a great leader, the stereotype is a man. Do you agree? Pag sinabi mong great leader, you will rarely see a woman. If you look at posters and all advertising, when you say strength, it's always a photo of a man. And it's okay. Ngayon, hindi na ganun ang panahon ngayon. Agree? Very open-minded na po ang panahon ngayon. So, mga babae, hindi na lang sila naghuhugas ng pinggan, nagpapalaki ng baby. They are also great leaders, di ba? And so, meron tinatawag na great man approach. Sabi nila, eto bang mga leader na to, pinanganak talaga silang goal-oriented, pinanganak ba talaga silang makapalang muka? And I love this research. Bakit? Kasi according to the research, there is a weak relationship between inborn traits. Basahin nyo dyan. And leader success. Grabe! So kung hindi ka inborn leader, palakpakan mo yung sarili mo dahil wala daw correlation. Pati gender, walang correlation. Everything can be learned. Kasi you can be born with na very dominant. But it doesn't still make you a complete great leader. Talagang personal development lang. Ngayon, ano ang mga leadership traits? You need to develop this. Una, humility. Okay? Humility is the willingness to admit you're wrong. and the willingness to make yourself vulnerable. Ako, when I was young, 22, 23, 24 years old, this is the hardest thing in the world. Because when you're young, it's so difficult to admit that you made a mistake. Pero yan ang critical key for being a leader. Tandaan mo, leaders are not gods. They're not perfect. So it's normal for leaders to make mistakes. Na okay, gradean mo sarili mo dyan every day. Kung nag-improve ka. Number 2, optimism. Leaders tend to see the positive side of things. Okay? Kaya nga look around you. You will rarely see a complaining, bickering person who is in a leadership position. Usually, people in leadership position across all industries, you will see a certain level of positivity, of a positive outlook in them. Tama ba? Tama ba? And yung mga keyboard warriors, yung mga hecklers on the sideline, if you check their roles sa mga work nila, they are not in a leadership position. Kaya nga, kailangan ito, only leaders kasi can see beyond the fog. Di ba? When things are blurry, a leader can see through it. And all the hecklers and the complaining people, hindi nila yung nakikita. Okay? Leaders also possess great attitude. Okay? Nasabi ko na yan. Next, leaders have self-confidence. Ano ba meaning nito? Self-confidence is not arrogance. Okay? Self-confidence is the confidence in your own judgment. It's the assurance that you're making the right decision. Kaya nga ako, when I have a leader, when I have a downline, and alam ko, tinuro ko na eh. Alam ko, naturo ko na. And tatanungin niya ako. I don't teach that person na literally what to do. I just reply, I trust your leadership or just exercise your leadership. Kasi have you met downlines like that na alam nila yung gagawin but they still ask you for an opinion or an advice? Why do they do that? It's not that they don't know the answer. It's more of they don't trust their judgment and they want to gain approval or assurance from you. And I don't want to give the go signal. I don't want to give the approval. I want to make sure that that person has confidence in his own decisions because I already taught him well. Kung wala ka nito, okay lang yan kapatid, natututunan yan. Okay? Next, self-efficacy. Ano naman to? Ito yung meron kang positive self-image. Meron kang kasiguraduhan na kaya mong gawin yung trabaho. Meron kang certainty. And alam mo, kapag ang isang leader, hindi naman siya perfect, hindi siya super galing, pero alam niya kaya niya yung trabaho. It creates a certain level of safety with the people around that leader. Tama ba? It fosters confidence among followers and creates motivation. Ngayon, kung wala kang positive self-image, natututunan yan. Pero grabe, have you been around as a person who is just certain na kaya niya, kahit hindi pa niya alam kung paano? It lifts the esteem of the whole group. Next. Next. Integrity. Okay, so ito, grounded in solid ethical principles. Pero ito yan, if your upline is fairly new, okay, there are new leaders out there. These people, pwedeng they operate in integrity naman. But just because they are young, they are immature, or some people, they just didn't have the concept of right or wrong, maybe they can make bad ethical decisions. But what's important is that they are striving. Get nyo ba? They are striving to pick the ethical decision. But sometimes lang nagkakamali. So I also want you to see the intention behind every action. Okay? Next, ambition. Okay, if people don't strive to rank advance, di ba, if people don't strive to hit their UMB, mag-builder ka, tapos may 3 weeks ka pa, i-maintain mo yung CBP. If a person has no goal, no ambition, people around them are not inspired. So ambition enable leaders to set difficult goals and take initiative. Walang nagsasabi sa kanila, they just do it. Okay? Next is drive. Leaders are responsible for initiating rank advancement. They have high drive. Kasi pag mataas yung drive mo, mataas yung motivation mo. Ang tawag ko nga dito, sorry for the word, no? Ang tawag ko nga dito, zeal. Di ba yung hindi gigil eh? More than gigil, zeal. Okay, zealous ka. Mataas ang drive mo. Kasi mataas yung drive mo, it lifts everyone in the team. Okay? Next, energy. Pag mataas yung drive mo, malamang high energy ka din. Bakit kailangan high energy ka as a leader? Because sabi nila, being a leader is fast-paced. Mabilisan. Being a leader has demands, di ba? And being a leader daw is difficult. Kaya kailangan mataas ang energy mo. Ngayon, nalista niyo po ba ang mga traits? Nalista niyo po ba? Ngayon, kung wala ka pa niyan, natututunan yan. Okay? Natututunan yan. And, ayan, sige, lista niyo lang. Okay, so number 1, self-awareness. Nasaan ka dun? Okay, nasaan ka dun? Number 2, ito, favorite to ni pareng Marcus Aurelius. Favorite ko din to. Self-reflection. So, see, it's up to you kung kailan mo gustong gawin. I want you to every single day allot 5 minutes. You can do it in the bathroom para wala kang distraction. Si Marcus Aurelius, he does it at night. Some people call it meditation. Some people do it in the morning habang nagde-devotion. It's up to you. Okay? Ako, lahat ng tinuturo ko sa inyo, I've been doing this since college. Wala pa ako sa sana. So, hindi talaga ako masyadong magaling pa sa organization team leadership. But one thing I've mastered is personal leadership. Kasi gusto ko talagang mag-grow. Alam nyo, you cannot bring money to the grave, but the person you become, no one beats the fulfillment of progress. Diba? And syempre, dapat marami ka ding pera. Okay? So, ayan, kailan mo gagawin yung 5-minute reflection mo? And sabi nila, 1 to 2 minutes of self-reflection. Yung mga pinagsasabi mo sa customer mo nung araw na yon. Yung mga na-hurt ka, na-down ka, uminit ulo mo, i-reflect mo yan, kapatid. You should never be a prisoner of your subconscious mind. Kasi kung hindi ka nagre-reflect, ang nasusunod sa buhay mo, yung limbic brain mo, yung subconscious mo, autopilot ka, girl. Autopilot ka. Akala mo ikaw yung namili ng dinner mo. Hindi ka namili. It has been a pattern of decisions over and over again. And if you want to break free from that, you have to take a conscious goal of changing it. So ngayon, if you just spend 1 to 2 minutes of reflection every day, sabi nila, it increases your compassion. Okay? So sa panahon ngayon, yan ang kailangan eh. And if it will also help, i-journal mo. So, meron sa atin, lalo na halos lahat tayo dito part-time, meron sa atin dito, stress ka sa work. Minsan meron kang tension. Tama ba? Meron kang stressor. And dahil hindi ka nagme-meditate or hindi ka nagre-reflect, hindi ka nag-journaling, minsan nababagsak mo siya sa downline mo. Minsan nababagsak mo siya sa upline mo, sa customer mo, or sa customer service ng Yusana. Diba? Kawawa naman. So, wala, lahat tayo guilty dyan. Okay lang yan. Kaya nga, as we practice this, nare-release mo yung stressor mo sa journals mo. Okay? Kaya ba natin gawin yan? Parang awa nyo na, gawin natin yan. Third, self-regulation. So ito, hindi ko to alam dati. This year ko lang to na-practice. Sayang, di ba? Ano yung self-regulation? We call this reframing. So, lahat ng leadership training maganda. Agree? Lahat maganda eh. Lahat maganda. The thing is, pag nandyan ka na nakukuha niyo ba yung point ko? Pagkaharap mo na yung sitwasyon, pag nandyan ka na sa event, hindi ka na makapag-isip Tama ba? Hindi mo naman kasi notebook mo Ano nga ba yung turo doon? Diba? So yan, dyan papasok yung self-regulation. I want you to imagine a parent. Okay? I want you to imagine right now a parent. And again, sabi ko nga, parents are humans. They are no better or no less than all of us. Tao lang sila. Ngayon, I want you to imagine a parent na may anak. Siyempre, yung mga bata maliit. Tama? Anong ginagawa ng mga bata? Umiiyak, nagwawala. Why do children cry? Because they cannot process their emotions. Nagigets niyo ba? So imagine if you're a child to the mall, maraming social stimulation. Hindi niya ma-process yung nararamdaman niya. Tapos pwedeng naiihi yung bata, pwedeng nagugutom siya, or pwedeng naiingayan siya, or pwedeng natatakot siya. And so because the child cannot process the emotions, magwawala siya ngayon, iiyak siya. Ngayon, imagine you are the parent. And you did not practice self-regulation. What will happen? Have you seen parents sa mall who just snap out? Have you seen a parent na nagsasnap out? And it's okay kasi lahat tayo prone dyan. When these parents snap out, what do? They do things that they would regret. Agree? They do things that they would regret. Some people, napapalo nila yung anak nila, and sometimes, kinikerry yun ng bata throughout their lives. Diba? Pero baguhin na natin yan. Sometimes, nasisigawan siya. So, dahil nasigawan yung bata at a young age, in front of all the relatives, the child develops shame. And it's okay kasi walang perfect. Trabaho din naman ng bata na pag 18 years old na siya, baguhin na niya yon. Walang sisihan, okay? So, ibig sabihin, you tend to hurt people that you love pag hindi ka self-regulated, and it's okay. So the next time that that event happens to you, I want you to imagine a child crying and a mother or a father snapping out. Like they just lost it. Diba? I've seen that time and time and again. And I want you to reframe it. On a scale of 1 to 10, how important is this issue right now? Tama ba? And, sige, sulat mo dyan. Narinig nyo na ba tong word na to? IQ? Narinig nyo na ba yan? Okay, IQ, EQ, ano yung EQ? Emotional quotient, ano yung PQ? Ito yung 6 life quotients. Physical, ano yung SQ? Spiritual quotient, ano yung AQ? Adversity quotient, it's the ability to bounce back from failure. They used to tell me people who are good academically are so bad with adversity quotient. And when I heard that, I refused to believe it. Sabi ko sa sarili ko, I will be the exception. I will be the exemption. And why is it that yung mga bumabagsak lagi sa school, sila yung nagiging milyonaryo? Kasi mataas yung adversity quotient nila eh. Every quarter na lang, bagsak sila, dadali nila yung test paper sa nanay nila. Nakadevelop sila ng resilience eh. Di ba? Wala nag-hire sa kanila sa trabaho eh. Nakadevelop. Pero yung mga matatalino daw sa school, we were never rejected because we are always good. Because we're only measured in the IQ part. And I would like to disagree. I beg to disagree. If you're smart right now, we prove to everyone that we have resilience as well. So ngayon, may tanong ako sa inyo. Narinig nyo na ba yung word na LQ? Ano yung LQ? Okay? Lovers quarrel. Okay, hindi. Ang meaning ko ng LQ ay likability quotient. Okay, ano yung likability quotient? Ito yung minention ko kanina. You have the ability to feel the energy of the room. You have the ability to have social cues. Nafe-feel mo kung yung kausap mo kailangan na niyang kumain. Nafe-feel mo kung yung downline mo ganito. Meron silang pakiramdam. Huwag kayong mag-alala, dine-develop yan. Okay, dine-develop yan. Nakakita na ba kayo na naglalakad tapos nababangga niya lahat? Hindi mo lang niya napapansin. Okay lang yun, nakapokus kasi siya. So, kailangan i-develop natin to. Ngayon, one of the best features of a great leader is that they are likable. So, do we promise na gagalingan natin sa likability quotient? Tama ba? Alam nyo ba, ang na-master ko, hindi likability quotient. Ang na-master ko, irritating quotient. Kasi irritating akong tao, makulit, buisit. So, when I started my Sana business, I made it an intentional effort to be cute. Di ba? To be light. To be funny. To be likable. Kasi kung yayaman ka naman, why not coconut, di ba? So next, how do you develop likability without being a people pleaser? Gusto niyo bang malaman? How do you become likable without being a passive leader? Some leaders, in the effort to become likable, passive sila. And that's such a bad leadership example. Kasi pag passive ka, then you're not even a leader, di ba? Pinababayaan mo lang. So how to be likable without being a yes man or a people pleaser? Ang sagot dyan is to be firm, but be fair. Kaya po ba natin yan? Kaya po ba natin yon? You have to be firm, di ba? Yan yung part na autocratic. We need to follow the system. Because if you don't become firm, hindi mo nabibigay yung best path sa tao kung saan siya magsasucceed. Kasi pinabayaan mo na lang eh. So that's also not a good leadership trait. So you need to be firm kasi ito yung path na magpapayaman sa kaibigan mo. But at the same time, you have to be fair. Diba? So, di naman pumapasok yung democratic and influential. So, how to be firm but fair? How to be strong but fair? This is the bridge between the two is called empathy. Diba? It's the ability to see things in the eyes of another people but still maintaining standards. But still maintaining leadership authority. Kaya po ba natin to? Kaya po ba natin to? Can we be firm but fair? Okay, kaya. Ngayon, sabi ni Sir Dodong Kakanando, this is my favorite line. Everyone in the team wants to do a good job. Nobody wants to fail. So ngayon, sino dito nag-work ka? Okay, type mo dito kung part-time ka. Sino dito nag-work ka? Meron ba sa inyo, pumapasok ka sa trabaho mo, 9 hours a day, ang goal mo mag-fail? Meron ba? Meron ba dito, gigising ka ng maaga, tas ang goal ko ngayong umaga, maging palpak sa trabaho ko? Wala! Di ba? Meron ba dito nasa Yusana ka, tapos ang goal mo, wag mag-join yung guest mo, or magkamali ka ng inviting? Wala! So, ibig sabihin, everyone in the team wants to do a good job. Even your upline. Everyone in the team, isa lang ang gusto natin, magtagumpay. So, kung nababad trip ka sa boss mo, kung nababad trip ka naman sa tao mo on the other hand, walang point kasi everyone wants to win. Everyone wants to do a good job. So kapag people fail, it's not because binabanas ka nila. Hindi dahil acne sila. Hindi dahil ginagalit ka nila. When people fail, when they don't want to fail, it means they need help. And when people need help, that's the time they need a leader. Tama ba? So ngayon, bigyan mo ng mas mahabang pasensya yung upline mo, yung boss mo. Kasi kahit yung pinaka nakakaasar na katrabaho, that person wants to succeed. So pag ganon, ibig sabihin the person needs a leader. And kahit mas mababa ka sa position, you can be a leader because leadership is not positional. Leadership is a mindset. Okay? So ngayon, be forgiving. Ayan, na-mention ko na, what if the leader fails? Okay? Be forgiving and have compassion. Bakit? Most of your prospects, downline and uplines, and most of your people come from non-ideal family dynamics. Agree? Some people came from bad parenting. And some people, they didn't have great role models growing up. And that's why you need to be patient. Not everyone had a great dad. Not everyone like me had a great boss. Okay, so because they didn't have a leadership model, they don't know how to lead. And most of them, they don't even know how to communicate. May kilala ba kayo pag nag-fail, di na lang nagre-reply? Hindi naman niya ayaw mag-reply, hindi lang siya marunong paano i-process. Hindi niya alam paano mag-communicate. And so you have to be more forgiving of people starting today. Okay? And have compassion. Forgive yourself for not being a great leader yet. May yet po na, hindi yan pwedeng matapos dyan. Okay? Forgive yourself for not being a great leader yet. And sa mga upline mo naman, eto, your leaders are not gods. Diba? They are not standards. Hindi sila kasing galing ng ini-imagine mo. Tama ba? Your uplines are new to the job too. Diba? Baka nga yung upline mo, 20 anyos, wala nga yung leadership experience. Diba? So your uplines are not gods, they're not perfect, they are not the benchmarks. They are learning to lead as they go. And kahit hindi pa sila marunong, despite being new to the job, they have embraced the role. They have accepted the responsibility of helping you reach new heights kahit bago sila. So I want you to extend the compassion, di ba? So set a healthy expectation with yourself, with your leadership. Bakit? Kasi when you have unrealistic expectations sa sarili mo, you tend to have unreasonable expectations sa ibang tao. And these things ruin a team dynamic. So tandaan mo, your leader is doing the best that he can, but just like you, is learning the job as he do it. Okay? So, yan mo sila ng space for mistakes. Okay? So, ito, sabi nila, Usana is a journey. Enjoy it. Self-development and improvement is your full-time job. So, life is a never-ending journey of self-development. So, be patient. Ako, lagi ko itong sinasabi, I will never be in this position had my downlines not forgiven me. Okay? Ako, if I can recall, I was the worst leader you will ever meet. Okay, so what brought me to the income level that I have right now, what brought me to the rank that I have right now is not really my own galing. It's more of my downlines were patient with a bad leader. Okay? My downlines were forgiving of all the bad leadership I've done in the past because they recognize that I am also new to the job. And if these downlines did not forgive me, I will not be here today. Kaya nga ikaw magkakamali ka rin and your wish is for your upline to forgive you, for your downline to forgive you, kasi nga lahat tayo natututo pa, and okay lang yon, di ba? And sabi nga nila, leadership is not about greatness. Leadership is about taking care of your people. And leadership is not about being who's the best, sinong tama, sinong magaling, sinong hindi, who is at fault. Leadership is about doing what's best for your people, di ba? And so, itong tatlong to, ipapangako mo ba na gagawin mo to? Okay? Pangako mo yan, di ba? Kasi ako, I really believe. I owe it to the people who believed in me to change who I am. Tama ba? Merong mga tao, kahit sablay ka, they believe in you eh. And ako, yun yung mindset ko na I owe it to these people na kahit mali ako, pinagbibigyan ako, pero wag laging ganun. Kailangan galingan ka. Diba? And practice these 3 every day before you talk to your team. So, 5 minutes lang yan, wag naman 3 years. Diba? 5 minutes and then talk to your people. Okay? Ngayon, application na tayo. Are we ready for some applications? Okay? So, this is from Mentor Ryan Tan. Okay? Step 1, embrace your role. Okay? I am is the most powerful statement in the world. Okay? What is the I am? Embrace your role. So, anong ibig sabihin nito? Embrace your role that you are the CEO of your business. Embrace your role that you are in network marketing. Diba? Embrace the role that you are in a people business. Actually, kahit wala ka sa people business, there will always be people. Hanggang nabubuhay ka, kahit nga maging e-games player ka, may kahit nga maging magkakaasawa ka, may tao pa din eh. So ngayon, how do you embrace your role? So this is the final story para sa inyo. Nung grade school ako, kami yung isa sa mga unang nagka-internet sa probinsya namin. Kasi yung tatay ko nerd. Sino dito may tatay kang nerd? So yung tatay ko para siyang Dexter's Laboratory, as in nerd, matalino. So nagawa niya ng paraan, wala pang internet talaga sa lugar. May internet kami. Alam niyo yung dial-up, yung di ba yung mga DSL. Ngayon, habang grade school ako, nakakahawak na ako ng computer. Habang grade school ako, nakakagamit ako ng internet. And habang grade school ako, nagkukumpuni na ako ng CPU kasi yung tatay ko, yun ang trip niya sa buhay. Tatanggalin niya, tapos ikakabit namin, papaganahin namin. And so, it was my exposure. And when high school came, nagkaroon kami ng computer class. And guess what? Lahat ng laman ng libro, nagawa ko na yun. So, lahat ng laman ng libro. And so, when we started doing computer labs sa school, people thought I am a computer wizard. People thought I'm intelligent. Kasi hindi dahil magaling ako, but because we were one of the first children who was able to use a computer. Walang talino required dun eh. But because people started to think, minsan nga yung teacher ko pa yung nagtatanong sa akin eh. So because people started to think that I am a computer wizard, what happened? It became my belief. Because people were telling me and praising me na magaling ako doon, I started believing them na, galing ko talaga sa computer. And then, in college, my dad told me, pati siya naniwala, belief. Sabi ng tatay ko, dahil magaling ka sa computer, mag-engineering ka. And so, it became a belief. Okay? Ngayon, if you come to think of it, it's not real. Because it's just that nauna akong gumamit. And so, that is where alignment puts into play. So, yung kapatid ko, I think high school siya, nag-work na ako. And ako, nerd ako eh. Sino dito mahilig ka magsagot ng riddles? Nerd. Mahilig ako magsagot ng riddles. Alam niyo sa mga, kunwari sa phone mo, find the missing object. Naalala niyo yun? Find the missing object. So ngayon, pag hindi mo ma-solve yung find the missing object, 3 linggo na. 3 araw na, what do? Tatawagin mo yung kapatid mo, ikaw nga tumingin, I need a fresh set of eyes. I'm looking for the missing object. And so, ginagawa namin yung riddle that requires programming skill. And so, yung kapatid ko, na-immerse siya ngayon hanggang sa natuto siya mag-program. Tapos, nag-work na ako noon, parang estudyante pa siya. So, naglalaro lang kami. So, sa sobrang addict ko doon sa game, pati siya nilalaro na niya. Okay? Ngayon, when high school came, meron silang programming class sa UST. And what happened? She was the best in the programming class. Not because she is smart, but because she had advanced exposure. And because people were saying that she is a computer whiz, that she is such a great programmer. Guess what? That became her belief and that became her identity. Ang kinuha niyang course nung college ay IT. Ngayon, syempre lahat tayo nahirapan, lahat man nahirapan. Nung college, hindi na siya pumapasa sa subjects niya. Nagsa-summer na siya. And bilang mahal na mahal ko yung kapatid ko, I cannot see her sad. I cannot see her devastated tuwing bagsak siya. And so, me and my mom started to offer na mag-shift na lang siya ng course. Not because she cannot do it, but naawa na kami. So sabi namin, uy, lipat ka na lang ng course. And dahil Yusana na ako nun, alam ko, wala naman sa course yan. Wow! Di ba? Wala naman sa course sa Tagumpay. Kahit anong course, lumipat ka na, nagpapakahirap ka sa IT. Di ba? And you know what? Even at the toughest of the tough, even at the lowest of the lows, kahit durog na durog yung self-esteem ng kapatid ko, at the worst time in her life, we asked her to switch courses. You know what she said? Sabi niya, bakit? As in, she can't believe it. And then kami naman, kasi nahirapan ka na. Pwede ka na namang mag-shift. And you know, my sister's identity was so strong that shifting a course wouldn't align to her identity. And that identity, my friend, is not real. It's a conditioning. Do you get what I'm saying? So, kahit mamamatay na siya sa hirap, she did not quit IT because she was made to believe that she is good at it. She had alignment. When you have utmost alignment, no one can take you away from your track. So sabi nga nila, what's the strongest force in the world? Is it an atomic bomb? Is it, nuclear fusion? What's the strongest force in the world? The strongest force in the world is the need to stay consistent with who we are. And let me rephrase it. The strongest force in the world is the need to stay consistent with who you think you are. Okay? So who we are is not a solid data. It's rather an interpretation. So when you fail in prospecting, when you fail in leadership, that's not who you are. It's really what you think of yourself. So right now, when you look at me, people will say I have leadership traits. People will say I have discipline. People will say I have ownership. But it's not because I have these things. I had these things because I had alignment. When I started Usana, I was a professor. And I thought, it was a belief. I thought magaling ako mag-present. Bakit? Kasi identity ko maging teacher. And then, true and true, napansin ko yung mga downline ko, hindi na napapresent sa akin. Napansin ko yung downlines ko, gumagaling mag-present. Yun pala, sobrang pangit ko mag-present. Wow! Diba? So, ibig sabihin, I started the business with a belief and an identity na magaling ako mag-present. And so, I thought the business is aligned with who I am. And kung nandito ka ngayon at stop-go yung negosyo mo, gas ka, tapos bine-break mo. Gas ka, bine-break mo. My friend, you don't need training. What you need is cohesion. You need to look for an experience in your past that will align with what you're trying to do in Usana. So sabi nga nila, alignment is better than strategy. Diba? So you can always pick. And again, walang magaling sa math. Walang magaling sa computer. It's all about belief and identity. And today is the day that you change your I am. You change your identity. Diba? So narinig nyo na ba to? Hindi kasi ako blank. So ito yung tanong ko, who told you? If you are 18 years old today, you are old enough to make a new I am for yourself. So ito, you can change your life in a heartbeat. You don't need January, you don't need 5 years, you don't need 10 years. Just change your I am. And alam nyo, as we close, you have to embrace the role. Di ba na-mention ko kanina, you have to embrace your role. Hanggat hindi mo sinasapuso yung role mo, nilalabanan mo pa, walang cohesion eh. Ito one of my greatest goals or dreams is to become a public speaker. So, goal ko lang yon. Gusto ko lang. I just love adding value. I love inspiring people. I love the idea that if I die tomorrow, at least I was able to change one life. Hindi man ako doctor, I cannot save lives, but at least I can save a soul or I can save people out of inspiration. So, my goal is to become a public speaker. And then I had a friend. That's why it's very important to have a friend who love you enough to correct you. You don't need yes people You need to grow. Diba? And so, I had a friend tuwing kakain kami, or basta pagtatambay ka lang, lagi niyang pinapansin yung pronunciation ko. And you know, as it went on and on and on, nag-snap out na ako, na-bad trip na ako. And I told my friend, bakit ba lagi mo pinapansin yung pronunciation ko? Yung P and F ko? Bakit mo ba yan pinapakialaman? Why are you nitpicking me? Hayaan mo na yan, nagkakaintindihan naman tayo, nakakairita eh. Sino dito ayaw mo nang kinokomentan ka? Pak. Pero gusto mo mag-grow. Di ba? Mali no? So, alam mo, sabi sa akin ng friend, kung normal na tao ka, hindi ko papansinin. Yung mga kapatid ko naman nagkakamali eh. Yung mga best friend ko, mali yung pronunciation. But I thought you told me that you want to become a public speaker. And have you ever seen a public speaker na mali-mali yung diction? And para akong binuhusan ng malamig na tubig. Because I'm not praising my role. I want to become a public speaker, pero ayokong ayusin yung part na yon. And so after sabihin niya yon, I said, okay. Sabi niya, kasi sabi mo gusto maging public speaker, tinatama ko na nga eh. Tapos parang ako, oo nga no. And so right now, I want you to be aware. Walang bukas, walang mamaya, ngayon na. May goal ka sa buhay, may gusto kang mangyari, gusto mong mag-goal, gusto mong yumaman, gusto mong makuha yung UMP, gusto mong makuha yung Taiwan. But you have to align yourself, hindi yung goal yung mag-a-align sa'yo. So ngayon, ano tawag dito, may friend ako, inofferan niya ako na ilalagay niya ako sa Coursera, sa Udemy. Matagal na to, 4 years ago sila sa production, ako magtutok sa content. This guy is the guy behind Smart Money and Paymaya. And you know what I said? I said no. Kasi nahihiya ako na nakabalandra yung mukha mo sa YouTube. Ikaw nga, nakakahiya-kaya yun. Nakabalandra yung mukha mo sa Coursera. Diba? Parang nakakahiya naman yun. Tsaka gusto ko ng privacy. Introvert ako, diba? And so I let it go. And today, online education is one of the fastest growing industries. And you know what? What I learned, I wanted to be a public speaker, but I don't want to be a public figure. Mali eh. Akala ko ba you want to change lives? Akala ko ba you want to inspire people? Pero pinupush mo pa din na introvert ka. So ano ba? Sino mag-a-adjust? And this part ng talk ni Mentor Ryan, for me, is one of the most critical things. Starting today, I want you to embrace your role that you are a leader. Wala nang pero. Tagalin mo na yung mahihain kasi ako, hindi kasi ako ganyan. Kasi totoo naman yun, pero hindi mo na kailangan sabihin kasi kailangan mo na nga palitan. Diba? And number 2, okay. Number 2, learn and master the business by working with a mentor. So all great minds have a mentor. Alexander the Great, one of the greatest kings, 20 plus lang yun years old, si Alexander the Great. He has conquered the biggest space of land, diba? As a king. And si Alexander the Great, yung dami ng pera niya, kung itatranslate mo sa pera ngayon, billionaire na siya. Sino ang mentor ni Alexander the Great? Si Aristotle. Sinong mentor ni Aristotle? Si Plato. Sinong mentor ni Plato? Si Socrates. So ikaw, sinong mentor mo? Yan yung mag-a-apply Si Socrates, Plato, si Aristotle, si Alexander the Great. May apply pa rin kahit saan ka tumingin. Diba? And number 3, take charge of your team. You need to have a CEO mindset. Negosyo mo to. Hindi to negosyo ng, yung Yusana kasi hindi negosyo mo to Diba? Kasi yung downline ko, hindi negosyo mo to Diba? Your mentor or your coach, merely a consultant at the end of the day. Kung gaano kasarap yung kakainin ng anak mo, 20 years from today, will lie on your CEO mindset today. Negosyo mo to So do your job, sponsor, share the products, coach and mentor your people, and hit your Taiwan incentive. Okay, so salamat po. Hit your UMB. Thank you everyone and good night.
Grabe no, sa personality pa lang ni Camille, talagang kitang-kita mo na sobrang na-develop na siya. Not just only in leading her people, but of course, definitely pati yung kanyang life. So, maraming salamat for sharing to us your personal leadership trait. And we hope that we see more, di ba, of you in the coming weeks and the coming months. So, thank you so much, Camille. And I hope na kayo din, na nasa mga bahay niyo, di ba, na-inspire kayo kay Camille, that you continue, di ba, to hit your small goals. Sabi niya kanina, di ba, yung nasa sa'yo yan di ba, na ikaw yung hinihintay. So, okay lang naman magkamali, but ang maganda niyan is you bounce back and try again. So, maraming salamat everyone, and I hope that you have a great evening. Thank you. Bye-bye.